Hi everybody, it's Tim with CookSavorCelebrate.com, and I'm here today to show you how to make my fabulous Bloody Mary cocktail. You know, every Bloody Mary has three basic parts. You have your sofrito, your mix, you have your vodka, and you have your garnishes. And speaking of vodka, I'm here to tell you that Smithworks vodka, made right here in little old Fort Smith, Arkansas, is the best there is. Plus, when I use Smithworks, I get to support my friends at Pernod Ricard. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Smithworks, you know, their spokesperson is this obscure country western singer named Blake Shelton. That might be why. So anyway, we're going to get started. Let's start with our tomato juice. That's traditional for a Bloody Mary. So we're going to put in our tomato juice. Next, we're going to move on to our V8. Now, I add V8. You can see as I pour it in, V8's thicker, and it adds some body to our cocktail. And that's what we want. We don't want a thin, runny Bloody Mary. We want a nice mouth-filling flavor. And so it helps to make it a little bit thicker. Then we're going to add some orange juice. Now, I use low pulp orange juice. Again, to give our cocktail more body. We put in a little grenadine. Now, the orange juice and the grenadine will also add a little bit of sweetness. Now, when you drink this Bloody Mary, you're not going to really notice it consciously, but it's going to be there. Next go our two, what I call secret ingredients for my Bloody Mary. The first is salsa inglesa, and it's a Latin version of Worcestershire sauce, only better. Next goes in our Yugo Sazonador seasoning sauce. I discovered both of these things and how good they are when I was traveling in Mexico City. And these last two ingredients really ramp up the umami flavor in a cocktail. You know, there's 5 basic tastes: salty, sweet, sour, and bitter, and umami. And that's what these two flavors add to the mix. And it makes all the difference in the world. Next, it's time to start with a little bit of heat. So we're going to add our salt and black pepper to the mix. Next, after that, we're going to add some Tabasco sauce. Now this is Tabasco habanero sauce. So it's good and hot, and we're starting to ramp it up a little bit. Next, horseradish sauce. This one happens to be by a little purveyor called Boar's Head, and we're going to put in about that much. Lastly, we're going to put in some Tapatio sauce, Tapatio hot sauce. In addition to being good and hot, it has tremendous flavor. So that completes our basic ingredient list of our sofrito. So now we're going to mix it up. All right, that ought to do it. So our basic mix is ready, and now it's time to move on and prep our glass. All right, I've got our glass. First thing I'm going to do, it's time to rim it. First thing I'm going to do is rim it in lime juice. You can't use water to rim a glass. It's not sticky enough, so that's why we use lime juice. Next, I'm going to rim it in a mix of celery salt and smoked paprika, because the aroma of the paprika, of the smoked paprika, is just amazing. Just amazing. So there you have it. You've got our rimmed glass, and I just happen to have one pre-rimmed earlier. Looks a little prettier. And we're ready to move on with our garnishes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of celery stalk in there. Now, let me be clear. The celery stalk's in there just because it's pretty. Doesn't add a great deal of flavor. That came in the V8, which has celery in it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another secret ingredient that I'll bet you like. Bacon. So I've got a piece of fried bacon we're going to stick in there. And then it's time to add some ice to our glass. I like to put about 2/3, fill a glass about 2/3 of the way with ice. You have to be a little careful not to knock all your garnish off the rim. There we go. That's just about close to perfect. Now, it's time to add the sofrito, or the mix. You can call it anything you want. Let's fill this baby up. And now for our final and very important ingredient, Smithworks vodka. Now, some people like super strong drinks. I think that defeats the whole purpose of enjoying a drink. It does need a good, generous pour. And we're going to add about 1.5 ounces. Now, you noticed that I just poured it over, and I'm not going to stir it. There's a reason for that. I've got a little straw here in case a lady wants this one. I'm just going to kind of jam it in, put that in, jiggle it like that, and that's about it. And the reason that I just pour it over and I don't thoroughly mix it is because the flavor will change with every sip. I mean, you really get to enjoy it. It gets better and better until you get down to the bottom. Now, for our final garnish, I'm going to add a chunk of peppered salami, a garlic stuffed olive, and a chunk of Monterey Jack cheese. That'll give you something to chew on. I'll put it on there and then I'm going to turn it back around. That gives you something to chew on while you're having a gorgeous drink. So there you have it. My Bloody Mary masterpiece. Thanks for watching. For details how to make my Bloody Mary, visit my website, cooksavorcelebrate.com. I've got a shout out to lifearoundthebases.com, the premier bespoke travel consulting agency for video assistance. And until next time, I'm Tim with cooksavorcelebrate.com. Thanks again for watching.